लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
From your smartphones to your smart TVs, trending topics are buzzing across the internet like never before. Rap queen Nicki Minaj lands in hot water with a cringe-worthy faux pas, awkwardly calling JD Vance an assassin on stage with Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica Kirk. Environment Minister Bhupender Yadav, meanwhile, has hit back with a very unconvincing defense amid the raging Aravalli Hills mining controversy, insisting that no protections are being relaxed. And across the pond, the Beckham family drama has escalated as Brooklyn reportedly blocks his parents and siblings on Instagram, fueling fresh feud rumors. And on a high note for Indian cricket, Smriti Mandhana scripts history by becoming the first Indian woman to smash 4,000 runs in T20Is. We have this and a lot more for you in this edition of Trending Today. With me, Tanisha Avasthi. Global rap superstar Nicki Minaj triggered a wave of headlines after making a surprise appearance at Turning Point USA's annual America Fest in Phoenix, Arizona. Nicki Minaj walked on stage and this was alongside Erica Kirk, as you see on your screen, the new CEO of the conservative youth organization after the assassination of her husband, Charlie Kirk. Catching the audience completely off guard, known primarily for her music and pop culture influence, Nicki Minaj's presence at a very high-profile conservative political event instantly became one of the most talked about crossover moments of the day. But this was not it. During the ongoing stage conversation, the moment took an unexpected turn when Nicki Minaj complimented United States Vice President JD Vance in an attempt to praise his political skills. She ended up calling him an assassin. The comment led to a brief pause on stage, visible awkwardness and nervous laughter from the audience, of course. Nicki Minaj then trailed off, lowered the microphone and covered her mouth with her hand, seemingly regretting her word choice as the crowd reacted with scattered laughter and murmurs. Take a look at that very moment when Erica Kirk then moved quickly to ease the moment, saying, "You say what you want to say because I know your heart and I will not judge that."
You have amazing role models like the assassin JD Vance, our vice president. And when I say that,
trust me, there's nothing new under the sun that I have not heard, so you're fine. Words are words, but I know her heart, and it doesn't even matter. And you say what you want to say because I know your heart. And I will not judge that.
Sister. Thank you.
Well, that was Erica Kirk coming in for rescue of Nicki Minaj. And while we talk about this, Nicki Minaj then went on to praise President Donald Trump, describing him as handsome and a strong role model, and saying both Trump and Vance possess an unusual ability to connect with people.
This administration is full of people with heart and soul. And they make me proud of them. Our vice president, he makes me, well, I love both of them, but they're both powerful men, smart, strong, all of that, but both of them have a very uncanny ability to be someone that you relate to. I can relate to them. When I hear them speak, I know that they're one of us. Like, I know that they're not. Don't you guys agree? They haven't lost touch of the world. You know, they're still connected to the world and what's happening in the world.
Well, her remarks stood out sharply given her past public criticism of Donald Trump during earlier election cycles, marking what many online described as a notable shift in tone and political alignment. She also added that a quick jab against California Governor Gavin Newsom, calling by the nickname Trump, gave him new scum.
And for young men, don't be new scum. Yes, see, dear young men, you have amazing role models like our handsome, dashing president.
And as Nicki Minaj stood on the turning point on stage, old comments and criticism linked to the organization's founder, Charlie Kirk, resurfaced online. In the past, Kirk and voices within his political ecosystem have questioned celebrity culture and have criticized figures like Minaj, including remarks about whether she represents a positive role model for young black girls. Those past statements added an element of irony to Nicki Minaj's appearance at the event.
Minaj, Cardi B.
Okay, Nicki Minaj is causing dads to leave the home.
Hold on, I don't think that's a good role model for 18-year-old black girls. I don't think that songs that are talking.
And like always, social media platforms quickly lit up with reactions from shock and confusion to applause and memes. Clips of the assassin remark, Minaj praising Trump, and her on-stage moment with Erica Kirk began trending across the platforms, with users dissecting every second of the appearance. Within hours, the moment had become one of the most viral celebrity politics stories of the day. One user said on social media website X, Nicki Minaj standing up for Christians at Tepusa with Erica Kirk was not my bingo card. Another user took a jibe at Nicki Minaj, saying Nicki Minaj being a Kirk supporter is mad. Her downfall should be studied. Meanwhile, there was another user on X who said Nicki Minaj and Erica Kirk's talk at Tepusa was a competition to see who would look or sound faker. And on to our next trending story, and this one is Republic's campaign, a campaign that Republic pursued relentlessly and has now become the #1 hashtag. India's Aravalli Hills have become one of the biggest environmental flashpoints of the week. And our own Nation for Aravalli campaign has found a very powerful resonance with citizens across Rajasthan and beyond as well. What began as a clarion call to protect one of the oldest mountain ranges on the planet has now exploded into a nationwide movement. The Aravallis, which stretch from Delhi to Haryana into Rajasthan and Gujarat as well, and act as a natural shield against the desertification and air pollution, are now at the center of a huge public backlash after a recent legal redefinition raised fears about mining and ecological damage. Activists and grassroots groups are now mobilizing under the banner of conservation, echoing calls we have amplified on this very network. The campaign resonated so hard that the people finally understood the need for the Aravalli Hills. There were mass protests that had erupted from Gurugram to Udaipur and across Rajasthan in opposition to a Supreme Court-endorsed definition that classifies the Aravalli Hills by elevation. Critics argue that this could strip legal protection from nearly 90% of the range, exposing vulnerable slopes and ridges to mining and development. In fact, environmental activists, social organizations and tribal communities have taken to the streets with slogans like Save Aravalli, Save the Future, while lawyers marched in Udaipur, submitting memorandums to authorities warning that the decision could harm groundwater, accelerate desertification and worsen the air quality in the Delhi NCR region. Meanwhile, on social media, the hashtag to save Aravallis is now trending nationwide as photos, videos and grassroots call to action flood platforms. Some posts warn that once the smaller hills and ridges lose protection, irreversible ecological damage could spiral into something bigger crisis for air quality, water and biodiversity across North India. Netizens are demanding clarity and action, with many saying that this isn't activism, it's about survival. One user says protecting the Aravallis is not anti-development, it is pro-survival. Another user says and tweets that the Aravallis by 100-meter rule is not technical cleanup, it's ecological erasure. Meanwhile, there is a different user again on social media handle which has said the Aravallis are more than hills, they are lifelines. All right, joining us live on the broadcast is Bharti Chaturvedi. She is an environmentalist and a columnist. Thank you very much, Bharti, for joining us here on Trending. What I want to ask you is about something that the government of India has gone on record, has put the statement on record. Yesterday, when Bhupender Yadav, the environment minister, was asked about the campaign that is ongoing to save the Aravallis, he went on to say, number one, that there is misinformation that's being spread. And number two, it is only 0.19% of the whole of Aravalli Hills that's been taken for mining. And that is almost negligible and does not cause any cause, and it is not a cause of concern for anybody. You as an environmentalist, how do you see this statement? How do you see the government putting these facts? Are these right or are these wrong?
Well, you know, the challenge we have in 2025 and onwards is that we're in this climate emergency. And that's the first. The second thing is, because we're in this emergency, we have species collapse. Even common birds in India are now being seen much less. So we don't just, our challenge today based on science is to preserve an entire ecosystem. And that ecosystem cannot be fragmented. And when you fragment it, you lose the richness of that ecosystem and you make all the species vulnerable. And you make it lose its the services that it gives. So in my opinion, you know, we cannot afford to fragment it into little pieces and give any part for any other activity. In fact, we have to look at it as a kavach, you know, and an ancient kavach, and we have to preserve the entire belt so that we can get this full benefit that these ancient hills have to offer us. Fragmentation of any habitat results in a loss of its ability to give ecosystem services.
Bharti, then would it be right to say that when we talk about mining, when we talk about the government initiating the process of mining in the Aravallis, even the 0.19% that the government claims to have been used for mining, that's also a huge amount, a huge area that is going to affect the range, because what we're talking about right now is a legacy, it's a history, and it's also responsible for for the clean air that's going to come to Delhi NCR, which currently is choking right now.
The point is that whether you give a small percentage, a negligible percentage for mining, or whether you make a negligible percentage for a safari, or whether you build a housing complex or a farmhouse or anything, or a spa, you fragment the habitat. So actually, nothing absolutely is acceptable. Any form of fragmentation of a habitat is absolutely destroying the entire pristine, holistic quality and capacity of that habitat. Remember, habitats are themselves living creatures, which are made of shrubs and trees and animals and all of that put together, soil and fungi. When you break one, you kind of weaken everything else. So nothing is, it's not just mining, even a safari, even a spa, none of these are acceptable.
Absolutely. Bharti, I thank you very much for giving us this perspective and informing our viewers on the current situation that's there. We look forward to having you soon again with us. But for now, viewers, we move on and shift our focus to the next segment that we're tracking on Trending. This is Hot Trends, everything that's hot and trending. Dangerous footage from a Walmart in Canton, Ohio shows a 21-year-old suspect pulling out a gun while being questioned for alleged shoplifting. As panic unfolded, police officers acted swiftly, tackling the suspect to the ground to prevent harm and secure the scene. Thankfully, no one was injured. The accused has now been charged with attempted murder, with the chilling visuals sparking widespread concern over public safety. Tempers flared after Indian boxer Neeraj Goyat defeated the United States boxer Anthony Taylor in a one-sided 3-0 bout. The post-match, Taylor followed Goyat backstage, initially offering a handshake before the situation escalated. A water bottle was then thrown and an attempted physical altercation was followed. The incident adds to the history of bad blood between the two fighters, who had exchanged barbs even before stepping into the ring. Now, there are shocking visuals that have emerged from the Indira Gandhi Medical College in Shimla, where a patient was allegedly assaulted by a doctor. The incident has triggered protest by the patients, attendants outside the hospital premises. According to the patient, the doctor had been rude from the beginning and turned violent when questioned. Hospital authorities are yet to issue an official statement as the video continues to spark public outrage. And yes, women are breaking records yet again. Indian batting star Smriti Mandhana has created history during the first Women's T20I against Sri Lanka, becoming the first Indian woman to cross 4,000 T20I runs. The 29-year-old is now just 42 runs away from completing 10,000 international runs. Meanwhile, Jamaica Rodriguez' unbeaten half-century powered India to a dominant 8-wicket win, giving the women in blue a 1-0 lead in the series. Pakistan's Defence Chief Field Marshal Asim Munir is back in the spotlight, this time for crediting divine help during Pakistan's military confrontation with India in May 2025. Referring to India's Operation Sindoor, Asim Munir claimed that Pakistan felt divine intervention during the strikes. Clips of his remark have been aired on Pakistani television, have now triggered a sharp reaction online, with netizens questioning whether strategy or spirituality is now doing the heavy lifting. Olympic medalist PV Sindhu is celebrating her first wedding anniversary with husband Venkata Dattasai. The couple, who married on December 22nd, 2024 at a grand ceremony in Udaipur, marked the day as Sindhu shared stunning wedding pictures. Celebrity family drama has taken over social media. This time it is about footballer David Beckham and singer Victoria Beckham's family. Their son Cruz Beckham stepped in to address growing speculation about the feud between the Beckham household. Cruz clarified that reports claiming David and Victoria Beckham unfollowed their son Brooklyn are incorrect. Instead, Cruz said that he and his parents woke up to find themselves blocked on Instagram by Brooklyn. He stressed that his parents would never cut ties with their son, but his statement has now shifted attention to why would Brooklyn allegedly choose to block his own family. Now, the digital fallout, months of visible distance within the Beckham family. There are speculation around a rift first surfaced when Brooklyn and his wife Nicola Peltz were noticeably absent from a major family milestone, including David Beckham's 50th birthday celebration and events linked to Victoria Beckham's fashion brand. Over the time, fans noticed social media unfollows, missing gatherings, and a growing separation between Brooklyn and the rest of the family, fueling rumors of an ongoing strain that now appears to have spilled into the online space. And social media platforms, like always, have been flooded with reactions since Cruz Beckham's post. Fans, celebrity watchers and gossip pages are now analyzing screenshots, timelines and past interviews to understand what actually went wrong. Hashtags linked to Beckham family are trending, with reactions ranging from sympathy and concern to speculation and humor. What began as a family matter has now become one of the most talked about celebrity stories of the day. One user slammed Brooklyn Beckham and his wife Nicola, saying Nicola and Brooklyn are so corny. During this right around Christmas is extra cruel. Another user, meanwhile, has said that Cruz is my favorite Beckham child, like he is not afraid of the drama. I'm here for him. Meanwhile, a different user has said that people do not block the entire family for no reason. Maybe it's self-preservation. Fast and extremely trending. The next segment that we're going to get to is the fast trends. Actor James Ranson, best known for his role as Ziggy Sabokta in The Wire and appearances in it Chapter 2, has died at the age of 46. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner confirmed his death by suicide. Just days earlier, his wife and shared a fundraiser supporting mental health awareness on her social media. Ranson had previously spoken about surviving childhood sexual abuse, meanwhile making his passing a sombering reminder of the long-term impact of trauma and the importance of mental health support. Former Nickelodeon actor Taylor Chase, best known for Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. He has now been spotted homeless on the streets of California. The 36-year-old was seen in Riverside, Los Angeles, prompting concerns from fans and a GoFundMe campaign that raised over $1,200. However, the fundraiser was later taken down by his mother, who said Chase needs medical help, not money. A reminder that childhood fame does not always guarantee a happy ending. What was meant to be a sweet birthday surprise turned into a viral comedy when a Zomato-delivered cake arrived with "Leave at the security" iced on it. The instruction meant for delivery was mistakenly printed on the cake itself. Netizens flooded the comments with similar experiences, once again teasing Zomato for hilariously following instructions a little too literally. And before we end this segment, let's get you visuals from Exercise Desert Cyclone 2. This is underway in the UAE with Indian Army troops and the UAE Land Forces conducting extensive joint urban warfare training at the AI Hamra. The drills focus on building clearance, room intervention, IED awareness, casualty evacuation and missing planning aimed at strengthening and common operating procedures in the urban combat. The exercise, running from 18th to 30th of December 2025, involves 45 Indian personnel from the Mechanized Infantry Regiment and UAE's 53 Mechanized Infantry Battalion. Watch these visuals as I bid you goodbye.
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिक्र।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDA चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDA चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ।